Hey guys, and welcome to another free plugin Friday. Today we are looking at the WA production ComBear. Now this is a parallel compressor that is completely free. It's basically a compressor with a mix control. Very, very simple. We're going to look at it on this kind of psytrancey kind of EDM track because that's what most of WA production stuff is designed for, is dance music, because they sell a lot of sample packs and that's kind of what they're going for. Though we may try it on some rock mixes too, just to have a look. So yeah, basically what it is a parallel compressor. Like I said, you've got a compress control, which changes this bear, the compressor bear, I guess. You've got a mix control, input gain and makeup gain, and of course bypass. So I've now got it on the mix. I'm just going to loop this kind of drop bit. So let's get that loop organized. And so we can just see what it's like on the mix. Then we'll use it on some other elements. So we'll start in bypass so you can hear it. And go into the loop. Turn it up a little bit for you. Okay, now let's stick it on. I'm going to mess with some of the settings, try and get the same amount of gain. That's bypassed. Now if we turn the mix up, you can really hear what it's doing. So I might back that off a little bit, back off the input gain. Bring that mix back. So this gauge here is basically gain reduction, and that includes the mix. So as you obviously have the mix up, it shows more, and as you have the mix down, it shows less. Now, the first problem I see with this plugin, and I don't want to complain too much about free plugins, but the makeup gain is post the mix control. And what this means is the more you compress, the quieter it gets, and the more that the mix favors the dry. And if you turn the makeup gain up, obviously it turns all the volume up, but the dry. So you have to adjust the mix, makeup gain, and threshold, otherwise known as the compress control, at the same time. Now it'd be nice if the makeup gain was made for the compression, or there was an auto gain feature. That way that, say you had a 50-50 parallel mix, as you turn the compressor up, it doesn't affect this mix. It's still 50, like the volume of the compressed signal and the volume of the dry signal are basically the same according to the mix knob. So I can demonstrate this. If we turn the mix all the way up and we turn the compress up, it is extremely quiet because it's compressing hard, which means if I turn the mix down a little bit, there's barely any compressed signal. And this can be problematic, obviously, for getting that balance right. Obviously, you can use your ears and do what you want, but yeah, that would be a really nice feature. So it seems fairly subtle. I mean, it's an aggressive compressor, but it doesn't really add any distortion or anything. It's typical digital kind of compression. So I think that's it on the mix bus. We could probably go a bit more hardcore. I can kind of show that. Kind of really pump it. And that is on. So on the mix bus, I'm not too sure if I like it that much. It's doing a thing, but it's compressing everything I want it to compress, but it really isn't adding any punch. And I think what it could do with is a sidechain filter, because then I can stop all the low end compressing and just get the higher ends to compress, basically stopping the kick from causing the compression. But otherwise, it sounds okay. So I want to move on to just doing drums. If you don't want it on your mix bus, you could just add it to, say, a drum bus or certain elements. So that's the first thing I'm going to do here. Let's drag it across. I'm just going to go find my drum mix, and we'll solo that. So I've called it the beat, but this is basically, it doesn't have some of the snares and stuff. It's basically claps, shakers, kick, and snare. So that's kind of controlling that nicely, as you can hear with the mix up full. Like I said, a sidechain filter could help just get it to compress a bit less on that kick. But anyway, bring that mix back. So it's level matched. Now that's the biggest thing you got to do, is make sure it's level matched. You see a lot of ads for kind of plugins and stuff, and then they show an example and they don't level match it. You can't tell at all what the compression's doing, because louder always sounds better. So you got to make sure you level match, because you want to hear what it's doing. I am losing a little bit of low end, but it's kind of alright in this setting. I'll just give it a little bit more. Cool. I think I'll leave that on the beat. It's not doing a lot, but it kind of is doing something that might work in the overall mix. So let's listen to it in the overall mix. High bass. This is helping that snare come through a little better, but it isn't really much louder. It's just a tiny bit. Now I might try it on the bass as well. So we've got this kind of psytrancey bass. So let's open up on the bass and solo that. Now I probably want to compress this a lot and then bring in a little bit of it. So what I might do is use the input gain, because you can use that to push the compressor without losing as much gain, obviously. So it's giving a bit more consistency, even though this should be consistent because it's a sample, based on how it's being triggered. So we'll just hear that with the beat. That's off. It's almost a bit more sidechainy. It kind of works with it a bit. So I'm gonna leave that there. Let's listen to it in the whole mix. I will bypass it. So I think that kind of works. Now, the last thing I want to try it on is these leads. So a lot of stuff in this mix, other than probably the percussion and the bass, isn't really that dynamic. So that's where a compressor probably it's more affecting the kind of tone. And as this doesn't add a lot of color, there's not a lot to do. I think things like a piano, I might actually pull up a piano sample in a minute, or we'll try another track, because I think things like a piano and stuff, just feeling how the gain reduction works in this would be much, you could hear the difference much more and be much more effective in actually doing something that you wouldn't get maybe out of some of your other plugins. But we're going to try it on the leads just because they're a big element and we just want to control them. Then what I might do is turn off all the ComBears and we'll just compare and see what it's doing to our mix. So this is now on the leads. I'll just close this one. So let's just solo them leads. So I'm really compressing it there. Dial back that mix. Bring that gain, input gain back a bit. In the mix. Bypass. Stands out a little bit more with it on. So what we'll do is get all of them up, and I'm just going to bypass them all. So what we've done, just in case you've forgotten, is put it on the beat, the bass, and the mix, and the lead. Sorry. This is with all of them on. You can hear it's a lot flatter now, it sits together a bit better, might be a bit overkill. So what we might do is just dial back the compression a little bit on all of these. And maybe dial back the input gain slightly. Bypass. Okay, so basically that's it on this mix. I do want to try it on something acoustic, but in a dance sense, so I'm going to pull up another track and then we might have a look at some rock tracks. Okay, so now I have pulled up a rock track. So this is a demo I'm working on. It's got, it's basically a rock song, but it's got a few programmed elements in it too, like this drum loop. So I thought what could be really cool is putting ComBear on the drum loop. What we might do is try it on that, try it on the drums, try it on the mix. So if I go to this drum loop here, pull it up, here's some settings I already kind of put in. So let's just listen to it. So this is the drum loop soloed just without anything. I'm going to loop it and then we'll put ComBear in. Okay, let's put ComBear in. Sorry, this is bypass. It was already in. So what you can hear ComBear doing here is just adding a little length to that snare. So if we go mix up all the way, you can hear the compression. Again, the sidechain would be nice because that kick is really pummeling it, but so this is before the filtering, because the filtering is using the EQ built into Cubase. So that's basically it on this. So we'll put it in context, which is just with another guitar. Bypassed. See that snare, really. Cool, now let's put it on these drums that we hear coming in. So what we're gonna do is go and just loop these drums. So they come in with that roll. pull up the drum bus. Okay, so, I don't know why it didn't loop, but here we go. The loop's there. So, basically, ComBear, let's unmute it, listen to what the compression is doing. So it's lengthening that kick, it's lengthening that snare, and it's really pushing down some elements. Bypass. Mix on full, let's dial it back. In the mix. This is on. Turn it off. Okay, now let's try it on the whole mix. So we'll do this whole section, and what I want to do is first we'll just check it with that section, and then we'll listen to the whole drum intro and this hook section, and we'll turn them on and off. So this is what I've got for just the stereo out, which is the whole mix. We dial the mix up, you can hear what the compression's doing. The drums are really pushing it down. Again, sidechain would be great, but we'll work with what we've got. So let's dial that mix down really low here. Off. As you know, there's no bass in this track yet. Now that would make a big difference when we're using it on the mix track, but yeah. So let's listen to the whole thing from the intro. What I'll do is we'll bypass it all, and then we'll put it back in as it loops around, just so you can hear. So let's bypass it all. Okay, let's put it all in. So that was WA Production ComBear. I hope this has been a useful little review. Now, like I said earlier, it probably isn't going to be my go-to for parallel compression, but that's because I've got a lot of paid plugins. I've got some Slate stuff, I've got Isotope, I've got a lot of things. But for you guys who don't have the money to spend on a lot of plugins and you don't have a parallel compressor, or you just want something quick and easy with not many controls, this is free. Give it a go. See if it works for you on your tracks. So I've got a few more videos coming out about WA production stuff. There's a few sample pack videos, stuff like Mantra, which I've written a whole song around. And then we've got stuff like there's the Sphere Comp video, which I've already done. So go check that one out. So keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos on rock production, on playing guitar, on some dance production stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, and Free Plugin Friday is every Friday for the near future, so don't forget to check it out every Friday. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.